Luna's arrest, 2 weeks since the DNA results had shattered their fragile peace, confirming that the child growing inside that manipulative monster was Will's. Electra's fingers trembled as she clutched the phone, her thumb hovering over Will's name. She wanted to delete it, to erase the complication he now represented, but love wasn't that simple, not in this family. The door creaked open behind her, and she turned, her heart leaping despite everything. Will Spencer stepped in, his broad shoulders filling the frame, his eyes shadowed with the same exhaustion that had etched lines into his young face. He was still the boy she'd fallen for, charming, ambitious, with that Spencer fire, but now, he carried the weight of a betrayal neither of them could unsee. "Electra," Will said softly, closing the door with a quiet click that echoed like a judgment. He wore a simple white shirt, sleeves rolled up, as if he'd come straight from another endless board meeting at Spencer Publications, dodging his father's interrogations about the family scandal. His voice was rough, laced with the gravel of too many sleepless nights. "You didn't answer my texts. I was starting to think you'd blocked me." He stepped closer, but halted when he saw the tension in her posture, the way her arms crossed protectively over her chest. The air between them hummed with unspoken accusations, the kind that had festered since Deputy Chief Baker had dragged Luna away in handcuffs, her smug smile lingering like a ghost. Electra turned fully to face him, her dark hair cascading over one shoulder, her eyes, those piercing Forrester eyes, glistening with unshed tears. "What did you expect, Will? That I'd just pretend this isn't happening? That I could waltz in here and fall into your arms like nothing's changed?" Her voice cracked on the last word, betraying the vulnerability she fought so hard to hide. She was Ridge and Brooke's daughter, after all, raised on drama, but this felt personal, visceral. Luna Nozawa had slithered into their lives like poison ivy, spiking Will's drink at that ill-fated party, disguising herself as Electra in the dim light of his room. The assault, the pregnancy, it was a nightmare scripted by the devil himself. And now, even from behind bars, Luna haunted them, her lawyers already filing motions for bail, citing the unborn Spencer heir as leverage. Will ran a hand through his tousled blonde hair, exhaling sharply. "I know. God, Electra, I know how messed up this is. Every time I close my eyes, I see her face, twisted, laughing, like she owned me." He paced to the edge of the king-sized bed, the one they'd shared tentatively just nights before the truth exploded. That night had been their attempt at reclaiming normalcy, a fumbling, passionate reconnection after the arrest. But it had ended in tears, Will pulling away mid-embrace, muttering apologies as ghosts clawed at his mind. "I didn't ask for this. I love you. You're the one I want, the one I've always wanted. Luna's a mistake I can't erase, but she's not us." She watched him, her heart twisting. Part of her wanted to scream, to demand how he could even look at her without seeing Luna's shadow superimposed. But another part, the part that remembered stolen kisses in the Forrester design studio, yearned for him to bridge the gap. "A mistake," Electra echoed, her tone sharpening like a needle. "Will, she's carrying your child. Our future, whatever we build, will always have her fingerprints on it. Court dates, custody battles, holidays where we fake smiles for some poor kid caught in the crossfire. How do we move past that? How do I touch you without wondering if you're thinking of her?" Will stopped pacing, his blue eyes locking onto hers with an intensity that made her breath hitch. He closed the distance in 2 strides, gently uncrossing her arms, his hands warm against her cool skin. "You're the only one I think about. That night with you, it was real. It was us." His thumb traced the line of her jaw, a gesture so tender it nearly undid her. The room seemed to shrink, the outside world, the Logans and Forresters scheming, Bill Spencer raging in his mansion, fading to a distant hum. Electra leaned into his touch, her resolve crumbling as desire flickered to life, hot and insistent. Maybe this was their way forward, a physical exorcism of Luna's curse. She rose on her toes, pressing her lips to his, tentative at first, then hungry, her fingers tangling in his shirt. He responded with a groan, pulling her flush against him, the heat of his body a stark contrast to the chill in her veins. They stumbled toward the bed, robes and shirts shedding like old skins, the silk sheets cool beneath them as they tumbled down. Will's mouth trailed fire along her neck, his hands mapping familiar territory with a reverence that spoke of apology. "I need you," he murmured against her collarbone, his voice muffled, urgent. "Tell me you need this too." Electra arched into him, her nails digging into his back, whispering, "Yes, God, yes," as if the words could banish the doubt. Their rhythm built slowly, deliberately, reclaiming, bodies moving in sync, breaths mingling in gasps and sighs. For a moment, it was perfect, the world narrowing to the slide of skin on skin, the cresting wave of release that left them both trembling, spent. But as the afterglow settled, reality seeped back in like fog through a cracked window. Will rolled onto his back, staring at the ceiling, his chest rising and falling unevenly. Electra curled against him, her head on his shoulder, but the piece was illusory, fragile as spun glass. She traced idle patterns on his abdomen, her mind wandering to the tabloids that had splashed their story across every checkout aisle. Spencer airs scandalous secret, Forrester fiancé fights back. Luna's face, defiant and doe-eyed, had grinned from every cover, her pregnancy a weapon wielded from afar. "Do you think about the baby?" Electra asked quietly, the question slipping out before she could cage it. Will stiffened beside her, his arm tightening around her shoulders. "Every damn day. It's not the kid's fault. But how do I even?" He trailed off, the words too heavy to voice. In the silence, Electra's phone buzzed on the nightstand, the screen lighting up with a text from her mother. "Brooke, darling, call me. We need to talk about the custody plan. Bill's pushing for leniency, don't let him bully you." She ignored it, but the interruption fractured the moment, Luna's specter materializing unbidden. Will shifted, propping himself on an elbow to look at her. "What's wrong? Talk to me." Electra sat up, pulling the sheet around her like armor, her eyes distant. "It's her. Even now, she's here. In my head, in your eyes when you look away. We try to make love, to connect, and it's like she's laughing at us from that cell. What if she wins? What if this baby ties you to her forever?" Will's face darkened, a storm brewing in those Spencer eyes. He sat up too, the sheet pooling at his waist, his hand reaching for hers. "She doesn't win. We do. Look at me, Electra, we're stronger than this. I've been talking to a therapist, working through the violation. It's not easy, but I'm not letting her steal our future." His voice broke slightly, revealing the cracks beneath his bravado. Electra squeezed his hand, tears spilling over now, hot trails down her cheeks. "I want to believe that. I do.
But tonight, halfway through, I saw it in your face. Hesitation. Like you were back in that room, not knowing who was touching you. The admission hung between them, raw and exposed, the bedroom suddenly feeling too small, too charged with the residue of their failed intimacy. He pulled her into his arms then, not as a lover, but as an anchor, rocking her gently as sobs racked her frame. "I'm sorry," Will whispered, his own voice thick. "I'm so damn sorry. It's not you. It's the trauma, the flashbacks. Dr. Weston says it's normal, that it fades with time. But I hate that it's hurting us." They held each other like that for what felt like hours, the lamp flickering as if weary of their vigil. Outside, the wind rustled the palm fronds, a soft LA night symphony underscoring their quiet despair. Electra pulled back eventually, wiping her eyes with the heel of her hand. "We can't keep doing this, trying and failing. It's killing me. Maybe we need space. Or I don't know, a plan. Something to fight her with." Will nodded, his jaw set with determination. "Space if you need it, but not surrender. Tomorrow we go to my dad. Force him to back off on the bail nonsense. And you lean on Rich. Let him rage for once. It's what he does best. A ghost of a smile tugged at Electra's lips, the first real one since the arrest. Yeah, Papa would love that. No one messes with a Forrester, he'd say, storming Bill's office like a hurricane. They laughed, a brittle sound that eased the tension fractionally. But as Will leaned in to kiss her forehead, his phone lit up on the floor, a call from an unknown number. He silenced it, but Electra caught the area code. County jail. Luna. The implication hit like a slap. Even incarcerated. She reached out, tendrils of manipulation snaking through their sanctuary. Don't answer, Electra urged, her voice fierce now reclaimed. Will tossed the phone aside, drawing her down beside him. I won't. She's done controlling me. They lay there, not making love this time, but simply holding on, bodies entwined in defiance. Yet sleep evaded them. Luna's presence a third occupant in the bed, whispering doubts, stoking fears. In the quiet hours before dawn, Electra dreamed of a nursery painted in neutral tones, two cribs side by side, and Luna's shadow looming over both. She woke with a start, Will's arm heavy across her waist, and wondered if their passion would ever be free, or if the haunt would persist, an eternal spoiler to their bold, beautiful chaos. Morning light filtered through the curtains, turning the room golden, but the warmth did little to thaw the chill that had settled in their hearts. Will stirred first, pressing a kiss to Electra's temple before slipping out of bed to brew coffee in the adjoining kitchenette. The aroma wafted in, a small domestic ritual that felt both comforting and mocking in its normalcy. Electra padded after him, wrapping herself in his discarded shirt, the fabric carrying his scent, a mix of cologne and sea salt that usually grounded her. Today, it just reminded her of the yacht party where it all began, Luna's laughter echoing over the waves. Black, 2 sugars? Will asked, handing her a mug, his smile tentative, probing for signs of retreat. She nodded, sipping the bitter brew to steady herself. We should talk to Steffy. She's been through hell with Finn and Luna's history. Maybe she has advice on shaking off the obsession. Steffy Forrester, ever the warrior, had clawed her way back from her own entanglements with the Nozawa clan. Will leaned against the counter, his expression thoughtful. Smart. But first, breakfast. You look like you haven't eaten since yesterday. He plated scrambled eggs and toast. Simple, but the gesture spoke volumes, a silent plea for forgiveness. They ate at the small table by the window, knees brushing under the wood, conversation skirting the edges of their pain. Tell me about work, Electra prompted, desperate for distraction. Did that acquisition go through? Will lit up, launching into details about a media merger that could catapult Spencer Publications into digital dominance. His passion was infectious, drawing her in, making her forget for a stolen moment. But midway through a story about outmaneuvering a rival bidder, his phone buzzed again, insistent, vibrating against the table. The same unknown number. Electra's fork paused midair. It's her, isn't it? Through some prison phone hack or whatever. Will's face hardened, and he snatched the device, answering on speaker before she could protest. What do you want, Luna? Haven't you done enough? Her voice slithered through the line, smooth as venom, laced with mock innocence. Will, darling. Miss me already? I just wanted to congratulate you on last night. The walls in this place are thin. Your little love nest isn't as private as you think. Electra's blood ran cold, her mug clattering to the saucer. How? Surveillance? A planted ally? Luna chuckled, low and throaty. Don't look so shocked, Electra. I can hear her breathing. Tell me, does it sting knowing our baby's heartbeat syncs with yours now? We're family, whether you like it or not. Will's knuckles whitened around the phone. You're delusional. Stay away from us, from everything. Oh, but I can't, Luna purred, undeterred. Not when I have rights. Visitation updates on my little Spencer. And who knows? Bail hearings move fast for expectant mothers. Imagine me waddling back into your life, hand on belly, ready to play house. The line went dead, leaving a vacuum of horror. Electra bolted to the sink, retching as bile rose, the eggs turning to ash in her stomach. Will was at her side in an instant, rubbing her back, murmuring soothing nothings. She's bluffing. She has to be. But doubt crept in insidious, as they both knew Luna's web of lies had ensnared stronger souls, Finn, Lee, even Deacon Sharp in his misguided redemption arcs. The day unraveled from there, a cascade of calls and crises. Brooke swept in like a force of nature, her designer heels clicking authoritatively on the hardwood. That which called you? Here? I'll have Ridge on the phone to the warden, better yet, to the governor. No one terrorizes my daughter. She enveloped Electra in a hug, her perfume, eternal Chanel, a balm against the madness. Bill Spencer arrived shortly after, storming through the door uninvited, his presence filling the space like thunder. I told you, son, this ends now. No more games. We'll fund the best lawyers to keep her locked up until the kid's born, then supervised visitation only. His eyes, steely blue like Will's, softened fractionally as he regarded Electra. Your family, girl. We'll protect what's ours. But protection felt illusory as evening fell, the group dispersing to their respective battles. Brooke to rally the Forresters, Bill to twist arms in high places. Alone again, Will and Electra retreated to the bedroom, the site of their earlier defeat now a battlefield of emotions. Try again, Will suggested, his voice hopeful, vulnerable. Electra searched his face, seeing the boy beneath the burden, and nodded. They undressed slowly this time. No rush, no desperation. Just deliberate touches, whispers of affirmation. You're safe, she breathed against his ear as he entered her, their pace languid, exploratory. Pleasure built like a tide, cresting without the sharp edges of before, leaving them sated, intertwined. Yet as stars pricked the sky outside, Luna's words echoed. We're family. Electra lay awake, Will's steady breathing a counterpoint to her racing thoughts. The bedroom, once a haven, now felt besieged, a place where passion faltered under the weight of what-ifs. Would they rise above, forging a love tempered by fire? Or would Luna's haunt persist, a spoiler to every embrace, every dawn? In the world of the bold and the beautiful, answers came in twists, but for now, they clung to each other, defiant in the dark.